Have you ever wondered why ancient tombs are often filled with gold, jewels, and treasures beyond imagination? Why would someone bury all that wealth instead of passing it down? It's not just about showing off. Today, we're digging deep into the fascinating reasons why ancient kings took their riches to the grave. Let's start with the most powerful belief, the afterlife. For many ancient cultures, death wasn't an end, but a journey to another world. The Egyptians, for example, had an incredibly detailed vision of the afterlife. They believed the soul, or Ka, would need all the comforts and status symbols it had in life. The tomb was essentially a starter pack for eternity. Gold, which never tarnishes, symbolized eternal life. Food, furniture, chariots, and even board games were packed in to ensure the pharaoh's afterlife was as luxurious as their earthly one. Think of it as packing for the longest, most important trip you'll ever take. The tomb wasn't a grave. It was a portal, and you'd better bring everything you need. But it wasn't just about personal comfort. These treasures served a divine purpose. In many belief systems, the king was either a god himself or a direct representative of the gods on earth. A lavish burial confirmed this divine status. By surrounding the deceased king with immense wealth, the living were making a statement to the gods, showing that they had honored their divine ruler. It was a demonstration of piety and a way to ensure the gods would continue to favor their civilization. In ancient China, for instance, the first emperor Qin Shi Huang was buried with an entire army of terracotta warriors, not just to protect him, but to prove he commanded a force worthy of a ruler in the spirit world. It was a cosmic flex, proving his power extended beyond the mortal realm. Now let's talk about power and politics, because a king's burial was a major political event. When a powerful ruler died, it created a vacuum. A spectacular funeral and a treasure-filled tomb were a way for the new king to flex his own power and wealth. By orchestrating such a grand send-off for his predecessor, the successor demonstrated that the kingdom was stable, prosperous, and that he was a capable leader who could command immense resources. It sent a clear message to rivals, both at home and abroad. Look at the wealth we can afford to bury. We are as strong as ever. The burial was a public relations masterpiece, cementing the legitimacy of the new reign and intimidating any potential challengers. There's also a psychological element at play. Imagine being a common person in an ancient society. Life is tough. Seeing the unimaginable wealth buried with your king reinforces the social order. It creates a sense of awe and solidifies the idea that the royal family is on a completely different level, closer to the gods than to ordinary people. This divine mystique helped maintain control. The treasures weren't just objects, they were symbols that upheld the entire structure of society. The immense cost and labor involved in building and stocking a royal tomb also united the community in a shared, monumental project, strengthening social bonds under the king's authority. Interestingly, burying wealth also had an economic side effect. Taking vast amounts of gold, silver, and precious materials out of circulation made the remaining wealth more valuable. It was an unintentional form of economic control. By preventing this concentrated wealth from being redistributed or flooding the market, it helped maintain the elite's economic dominance. While probably not the primary reason, it's a fascinating consequence. New rulers would then need to acquire their own wealth through conquest, trade, or taxation, driving the engine of the empire forward. So let's travel across the globe to see this in action. We've mentioned Egypt and China. Now, let's go to the Americas. The Mocha lords of ancient Peru were buried with breathtakingly intricate gold headdresses, jewelry, and ceremonial armor. Their tombs, like the one for the Lord of Sipan, revealed a world where rulers were seen as divine figures who would continue their ceremonial duties in the afterlife. They were buried with everything needed to perform these rituals, surrounded by sacrificed retainers and family members who would serve them in the next world. Or what about the Scythians, nomadic warriors of the Eurasian steppes? Their burial mounds, called kurgans, are filled with incredible gold artifacts, often depicting animals in a dynamic style. For the Scythians, these treasures and the sacrificed horses buried alongside their chiefs were essential for maintaining their status and continuing their nomadic lifestyle in the great beyond. It shows that this practice wasn't limited to settled agricultural empires. Even fierce, mobile cultures believed in taking it all with them. From the golden mask of Tutankhamun to the jade suit of a Han dynasty prince, the story is remarkably consistent. These treasures were not wasted, they were invested. They were a down payment on a prosperous afterlife, a political statement of power, and a sacred offering to the gods. Burying wealth was a complex act woven from threads of belief, power, and tradition. It tells us that for these ancient rulers, their legacy wasn't just what they left behind for the living, but what they took with them to eternity. So the next time you see a museum exhibit filled with treasure from an ancient tomb, remember it's more than just beautiful stuff. It's a key to understanding a completely different worldview, where the line between life and death was blurred, and where a king's reign never truly ended. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the past. If you found this fascinating, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into history. What other historical mysteries do you want us to explore? Let us know in the comments below.